Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Friday, December the 13th. The first thing you'll notice is I'm wearing a t-shirt, which is odd for a hockey video. On the second channel, it's not that odd. I do that often. But this is the Biz t-shirt that was released after the fight in the Arizona parking lot there. That started in the restaurant, goes into the parking lot, ends up at the CVS. And when I heard that whole story, I had to get the t-shirt because honestly, in that situation where you're fighting six different guys, yeah, I have nothing but respect for Bissonette on that one. So, with the news, we start with a pretty tough hockey player in Jake Middleton who is dealing with a tough situation. Apparently, he is going to have surgery today, assuming it's his hand, right? They're calling it an upper body injury, but sure looked like his hand. So he's been placed on LTIR. So he's going to be out for a while. It is going to hurt Minnesota having him out. The good news being it looks like they may be getting a couple of injured players back. Zuccarello is currently on LTIR alongside Middleton. Zuccarello could be taken off LTIR very soon. And Brodin. Both Brodin and Zuccarello, they're not ruling out either or both of those players from playing tomorrow against the Philadelphia Flyers. So Minnesota coming off of a really tough game last night where you lose Middleton and you just get destroyed at home. Some good news there for Minnesota fans for today. Also, Minnesota claims Travis Dermott on waivers from the Oilers. In light of the injury to Middleton and how long he's going to be out, makes total sense. And apparently Bill Guerin made a phone call to Edmonton to let them know they were going to claim the player on the waiver wire. So that was nice of Bill Guerin to do that. He didn't have to. Certainly not, something there's a rule about letting a team know you're going to grab a guy. But yeah, they pick up Dermott, and there you go. So the Minnesota Wild, a little bit more depth there with that move, and we'll see whether or not Brodin and Zuccarello are in the lineup tomorrow. They're definitely progressing and getting close. It's just a matter of whether or not they play. The Leafs are awaiting or have been. This is the interesting thing. There's one report saying the Leafs are awaiting further tests on Stolarz, and they were called Hildeby to back up Woll because Stolarz gets hurt last night. But Craig Berube's saying Stolarz is day to day. So it doesn't sound like Stolarz is going to be out that long, which is good news because Stolarz is having an incredible season. One of the best goaltenders in the league right now. Every goalie power rankings I've done, he's been one of the top guys. So, yeah, Stolar's numbers are fantastic. And I don't think he's going to be out that long. But remember, I said in yesterday's news video, it feels like now that's what coaches and teams are telling us. Everybody's day to day. So, we'll see. Speaking of day to day, Talbot is seen as day to day. And it's just said he may have tweaked something today. So, today, I guess, at practice or morning skate. And Husso's going to start tomorrow against Toronto. They're targeting Wednesday as when they'd like to see Lyon back and maybe get him a start. So both Talbot and Lyon should be in the lineup soon enough. It gives Husso a chance to get another start, and that's against Toronto tomorrow. So we'll see what that does to that game and if Husso can pull a great game out, right? Frank Nazar being brought up by Chicago, and this to me it feels like it's part of the reason why you bring in Anders Sorensen to coach the team. And I said this when they made the change. Now you can bring some of the kids up who've been playing well in Rockford. Nazar, the second to come up, Korchinski having been the first. At practice today, Nazar on the second line alongside or in between Taylor Hall and Tyler Bertuzzi. So he's also getting time on the first power play unit, and he and Bedard talking about how to execute things. So this is good. Frank Nazar has the offensive instincts, very good player. I was kind of surprised he wasn't in their lineup right away to start the season because he looked good when he had the cup of coffee with the team at the end of the season last year. So I think this is a good move for Chicago. It should lead to increased offense. And yeah, Nazar, pretty good prospect in his own right. And it should make things a little bit easier for Connor Bedard out there, honestly. So waivers today. The New York Islanders have waived Engvall again. I'm kind of surprised because Patrick Waugh was very praising of Engvall and was playing him up and down the lineup. I felt like he was just trying to find the right spot for him, but he was very praising of him and his play. So he's on waivers, as is Oliver Wahlstrom. Engvall's going to clear. That contract goes until like 2065 or whatever. Wahlstrom may not. I would not be entirely surprised to see Wahlstrom get picked up by a team looking for a player who could use a change of scenery. Sort of like what Seattle did picking up Tolvanen a couple years ago. That kind of thing. So, Wahlstrom being on waivers, not a huge surprise. And if he gets claimed, I don't think Islander fans would be entirely upset with that. His progression with the Islanders really stalled out a few years ago, and I think a change of scenery would do him some good. So if he did get picked up, that might be the best thing for him and for his career at this point in time. Josh Norris. So the other day we see a player get fined for embellishment. Now we see another. Josh Norris has been fined $2,000 by the National Hockey League for embellishment. And as I mentioned, I think in the last time too, I guess this is supposed to be a deterrent. It's supposed to embarrass the player into changing that behavior. I don't know if it works. It is interesting too because I think in the last instance it was a play that didn't even result in a penalty. So it does seem to be kind of all over the place because it feels like every single game you'll hear announcers or players complaining about guys diving. So either there's a lot of guys diving or there's a lot of complaining without good reason, without that necessarily that merit. You guys can let me know your thoughts. But Norris has been fined $2,000. I think he's good. He doesn't need to GoFundMe at this point. And the one thing with this is it's not like Department of Player Safety where you get a fine and the next time out it might be a suspension. With the embellishment, it's just fines for embarrassment. I think the fines can go up a bit. I think they can, but really it's just supposed to embarrass the player into no longer diving. Dan Vladar with a lower body injury is day-to-day for Calgary. That's going to put Wolf in the net for the lion's share, I would think, of games until Vladar's good to come back. But it's a day-to-day injury, so he shouldn't be out for that long. For the Flames, they're at home tomorrow night against Florida. Dustin Wolf was going to get that start anyways. They do not play on Sunday. So if it's just a day-to-day thing, he may only miss the next game. Maybe he'll be ready to go for the following game for the Calgary Flames. John Tortorella, and I know he's not alone on this, doesn't like the Michigan. And that's what's being clipped out of what Tortorella said. But having watched a bit of it, Tortorella admits he's lost the battle against the Michigan. That he doesn't feel like it belongs in the game. But he understands now it is, and it's been deemed to be a legal goal where you pick the puck up on your stick and then put it in the top corner of the net. But what he says about Michkov, who tried the Michigan last night, and I know I had that on the board, that he has been telling Michkov there's other plays to make from behind the net. And so where I think Tortorella's going for with this, and I'm not going to disagree with him, he's kind of right. He says that the Michigans that Michkov's been trying have led to turnovers. Teams are anticipating it, and so that leads to him just losing the puck and clears going on. And he's saying you can do something else with that puck. You have other options. Don't go to the Michigan. So what's being clipped out and what people are talking about is how he lost the battle. And they're talking about how he's against the Michigan goal and leaving out the part where he said, Michkov's a very creative player, but I'd rather he wasn't just trying to rely on that Michigan. I don't think any of them have gone in for Michkov this year. I don't think he scored on a Michigan. But yes, I will agree with Tortorella on this. Because the one thing with that goal is it is easy to defend if you know a player's going to do it. For both defensemen and for the goaltenders. But goaltenders hugging the post, Michigan's not going to work. There's no way. And if a defenseman knows the guy's going to do it, if he's close enough, he's not going to get that puck in the net. So I will agree with Tortorella there. And yeah, let me know your thoughts regarding the Michigan. And do you think that Michkov tries it too much? I know there's at least one or two other occasions I can just think of where I've seen him trying that. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. The one thing with that is, of course, Michkov's having a very good rookie season. His scoring's pretty good. So you can only complain so much. But let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I also want to throw this out here too. There's just the one game tonight in the NHL. So I'm going to go out, do a little bit of Christmas shopping. I'm going to be out tonight. I will do a review of the game when I get home, but it won't be a game that I have watched. So I'll go through and pick some stuff out from that game. We'll talk about it. And I might even combine that with another video as well when I get back today. So thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.